Let's do it.
Today we're jumping into conflict between the feminine and the masculine energies. Me and Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
And being stuck in conflict in a relationship, any kind of conflict, is a massive. It's not healthy for the physical body. It's not healthy for the emotional or the spiritual body. It's not a good place to be. So in 15 minutes, we will give you a way out. So let's get started. What is the root cause of reactivity or conflict? So we talk about reactivity in conflict. So the conflict is the result, but the reactivity is the root.
Right. And then even underneath the root of reactivity, the reason why people react is usually related to some form of stressor, some form of trauma, some sort of nervous system dysregulation, or an imbalance in the masculine and feminine energies. And so those can all pop up in different forms of reactivity.
Usually it's a combination, because you don't have conflict without a nervous system reaction. And today we are talking about finding back the balance of the feminine and the masculine energies, because it's such a big part of our internal balance, and we live out of balance in these states. So what would you say that the masculine imbalance, how does that show in reactivity or conflict?
Well, the masculine reactivity tends to be a bit more aggressive. So the masculine energy, when provoked, it feels like it needs to stand up and be loud and protect itself, or to push away in some form of an aggression, and that's even societally acceptable to do so.
Yeah. And what would you say is the feminine imbalance?
Feminine can be kind of closed off in an imbalance, or just like completely scattered emotionally, one day crying, the next day laughing, just kind of like all over the place, and completely it like totally involved in those emotions too, like deeply like unable to break out of that loop.
Yeah, also what I experience many times is the internalization. It's like shutting down,
Shutting down.
and feeling very distant. But there's so many ways that conflict that it plays out. It all depends on what the state of your nervous system, and like how you grew up and what you come from, what's your go-to move. And since we have both feminine and masculine energies within us, it can be, so me as a feminine, I can have a masculine imbalance. So I can turn to the masculine in a reactivity or conflict, because that's what my nervous system feels is the safest way out. So my history is I didn't never back down. I used to go full front, like attack or confront, or we're doing this, we're resolving this, we're talking about this. And then we have the other way around, is like submissive, the flight behaviors, like if some people leave,
fight, hiding,
hiding, not being able, going into freeze, not being able to speak or speak your voice. So all of these reactions comes from, as you mentioned, the nervous system, our past, like history, traumas, what we've been taught, and how we are balanced or imbalanced within the feminine and masculine. So it's it can feel like a slippery slope, and that's why we want to talk about these things, because there is a way out. And what would you say is the solution?
Well, first there has to kind of be a pause, and that pause will allow you to bring awareness to the situation, so that you understand that you are in a cycle, in a loop of repetitive behaviors. Once you understand that, and you realize that this is something that you can do, you almost kind of have to like relearn or unlearn those patterns and those behaviors. And so through practicing and through understanding more deeply about the triggers of your traumas and the state of your nervous system, as you start to unlearn those things, you put in place new behavioral patterns that will help you through conflict. And kind of like stepping away, taking a breath, and bringing awareness to the situation can change the entire trajectory of a conflict. Whereas your natural stance might be to immediately react, and then someone else immediately reacts, and it's just like,
it doesn't bring us forward.
Yeah.
What me and Simba, we made a pact, a deal that when there is conflict or reactivity, we are unbalanced. And when we are unbalanced, the only way forward is to go back to balance. So because the previous episodes that we talk about, it's about the trust and the accountability, and to continue to create that trust, because during conflict or reactivity, that trust can be broken because we say things that is not true, because we're talking from our trauma. It's just a nervous system and trauma going against each other, building loops. So the most important thing is to get out of that and to balance oneself out. It's like, okay, I need to take accountability for my part of this, even though the other one in my mind is the villain, or did me wrong, or it's like you have to want to step out of that. So it's about coming back to the self and doing the inner work. It's like I need to take accountability for my nervous system. Whatever I've been through, I can't relive that and keep projecting that on other people.
Yeah, I think you really have some wisdom in that, Sara, because what you said is that if conflict arises, that means that there is an imbalance. And what often happens is that we tend to blame someone else when conflict arises. Why do you always stir things up? Why do you? But if conflict exists, therefore there must be an imbalance in both sides, not just one. So there's accountability on both sides whenever there's conflict.
Yeah, and this can be very tricky, but that is the way out. And learning about the balances, learning about your own balance, and learning about the other person's balance. And it doesn't have to be in only couples. It can be in friendships, it can be at work, it can be within the family, with your children, whatever. I mean, the relationship with other people is the most beautiful thing we have, and it's what's creates so much trust and community and safety, and we are people that live with other people and belong with other people. So it is learning about these things also creates a deep healing inside, if we can learn to navigate oneself and other people. And in February, we're putting all of this together in the Rise of the Sacred Union. And the Sacred Union means you and your people. Union can be bigger than one person, and it's like a circle of, it's like the circle of, what do you call it?
Circle of life.
You call it the circle of life? Yeah, because we talk about the union like a ring, like that it's solid. And that's what we want to create.
Yeah.
And February 14, we will launch our live, one time only, Sacred Union relationship course. So it's for parents, friends, co-workers, singles, couples, marriages, anything. It's basically for anyone who wants to learn more about the nervous system, how to balance the masculine and feminine energies, and how to navigate relationships with other people, no matter what kind of relationship it is. And we will offer teachings on these 6 topics. We will also do live coaching. There will be somatic work. There will be homework. It will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely important, like for people who want to learn more about themselves and how they show up in any relationship.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily about like, how do I fix the other person in my relationship? It's how do I fix myself so that I show up in all relationships, level-headed and balanced and with a clear nervous system.
Yeah. And that's how we operate our best, when we are grounded and balanced inside. So that will, I mean, if you work on this to work on your relationship, it's going to change anything in you. I mean, it's going to change on so many levels in your life. So we go live February 14th. We have an early bird in November. So if you know you want to sign up, you want to join, you head over to livingwiththespirit.com, and under online services, you find the Sacred Union and you jump aboard. And we're looking forward to have you. Have a great day.
See you later.
Ciao.